Yo, welcome back to another episode. If you're new here, my name is Finn and I make beats. All right, so for those of you that have been watching this channel for a minute, you may or may not know that I bought an MPC last April. Right now, filming, we're in June 2026. I bought a MPC April 2025. This is basically my 1 year review of having an MPC as part of the workflow. Just a little bit of a backstory. I used to use MPC over there. I got an MPC 2000 XL. That's how I kind of started my beat making journey eons ago. Funny enough, my dog Future Wave came to the crib, had the MPC Live, the first MPC Live. He let me hold on to it for a week. And then from there, I was like, yeah, this is the workflow, like fell in love with it, gave it back to him, and then I immediately had to go buy one myself. At that time, 3.0 just came out, so I don't have any history of going back to when people were using 2.15 or any of those other ones. Fast forward to right now, over a year using this thing, and I put a lot of damage onto this thing. I don't know if you could see that as it begins to migrate. 495 beats made that's just standalone. Since I got this new computer, which I got in January, I've been able to use the 3.0 desktop software, which I've really loved the workflow because I'm able to use my plugins. I use Addictive Drums, I use Soulfy, do my drums and be able to play it on the MPC is a whole different level of workflow that I didn't know that I needed. Before I got this MPC, I was on Ableton Live 99.9% of the time. Sometimes I mess around with the 404. I perform with the 404 and, I like to use the effects, but I rarely make beats on the 404. 9 times out of 10, if I'm making a beat on the 404, is because I'm filming it for you guys. That's just, I'm just being honest with you. It's not my preferred beat making device. Right now, in the lead is the MPC One Plus. Whether it's standalone or on the desktop software, it's my favorite workflow to date, to be honest. This is the reason why I made so many beats up until now. It's just fun. Like the tactile feel of chopping my samples with the pads. It's the best way for me to express myself through samples as far as chopping a sample goes. The pros and cons of this thing. The pros, for this one specifically, I think this specific unit, the MPC One Plus, is the best MPC as far as aesthetic, size, shape, ease of use, as far as like the new buttons that they added. Obviously, I know with the new next generation MPCs, they have a lot more. So when the new version of the MPC One comes out with, possible the step sequencer and all the other functionality, if they ever do come up with that, I feel like that will be the best one. And to be honest, I'm waiting for that one before I jump on, the Live 3 or the XL. I just think that this, just the size of it, you can see it compared to the 404. The size is just perfect. It does everything that they all do the same shit. Let's just be real. Couple of I wouldn't even call them cons, but I guess some of the disadvantages to some is the size of the pads. I don't mind them. They're bigger than the 404 pads, but they're smaller than the live pads. And the feel of them, they're not the best feeling pads, to be honest. I always compare it back to the MPC 2000 XL. Those ones had the best pads. I did mess around with the new XL, and I love the feel of those pads. So if they're able to integrate those into a newer version of this, the thing is, when they do make the newer one, it probably will have to be a bit bigger, because even the Live 3 is bigger than the Live 2. They got to put maybe some more computing power in it. Hopefully they keep this aesthetic. And I feel like this is the upgrade to the MPC 2000 XL. I think this is the modern version of the MPC 2000 XL. Another one of the cons is the fact that there's no battery. I know you can add batteries and do the whole MacGyver battery pack and all that kind of stuff. If I'm not here, I'm on the couch or I'm in the bed where I'm close to a plug. I cannot make content with this outside of the house though. Maybe I might want to go to a park bench or something and shoot a video out there. So this one does not have a battery. And what surprised me about this thing was how easy it was to go from sample to beat, as far as like loading up drums, chopping samples, making programs. They're not programs now, they're called drum tracks. But making drum tracks, recording it, integrating it with this 404, because these things is a deadly combination. I love the way that these two things can interact with each other, and it's just through audio. To dust up this sound with this thing and then record it back into the computer, chef's kiss. The learning curve was the thing with me. I think I'm a little obsessive sometimes. If it's something that I want to learn how to do, I'll stop at no length to figure out how to do it. A lot of the first beats, they're probably not the greatest, but I would rather start over and make a new beat rather than hurt my brain trying to figure out what to do. I'll just keep repeating the process until I get past certain roadblocks. So it's like, oh shit, the sample wasn't chopped the way I like it. Whatever, new sample, new beat, save it, on to the next one. And that kind of helped me speed up the learning curve and the workflow. I think how long it took me to feel natural on this thing, it was probably, honestly, 2 weeks. Like the week that I had Future Waves, I was already making beats and very comfortable just going from start to finish. So realistically about a week, but if I'd say like once I actually got my own MPC and I started using it consistently, I would say 2 weeks total. The week that I had the loaner and then the week that I got my own, those 2 weeks, by the time I was done 2 weeks, I mean, I don't even know if I've learned much more since then, because I just went straight in and learned as much as I could, as fast as I could. Hardware is not better or worse, but it will give you ideas that you will not get on software. I don't know what it is. It's like I could chop a sample on Ableton and I could chop the same sample on this. It's not better or worse, but it will never be the same. Nowadays, I am more likely to use it with the desktop software than I am standalone. Sometimes I'll just do standalone because, I just like how raw it is. But now that I have access to, RC20, Addictive Drum, Soulfi, Contact for bass lines, as well as the MPC Air plugins, the little limitations that you have in the standalone kind of just disappear with the desktop. And like I said, because I'm already sitting at the desk when I make it, whether I'm doing standalone or I'm using desktop, I'm already sitting here. So it's not much more hassle for me to plug it into the computer and make the beat. And having it connected via the 404 makes it so much easier for me to get the audio as a loop back. Meaning, as soon as I make the beat on here, even if I'm in desktop mode, I can open up Ableton and record directly from the MPC desktop software into my DAW and get the sound processed through the SP404 at the same time. It's amazing. I love that you can just plug a MIDI keyboard directly into this thing. I have this Novation launch key. I have scale mode, so when I load up certain things, I can lock it to a scale. Once I figure out the scale in MPC, I can just lock the bass line to the scale and play to that scale. Okay, so the one thing about this thing for me is I do not arrange my beats on this MPC. That's just me. I just know that if somebody's gonna rap on it, or if I'm gonna add it to a beat tape or anything, if I need to use the beat, I'll either record it directly into Ableton, or I will save it as an Ableton set, or save the stems as audio, drag it into my DAW, and arrange it like that. One of the things that I found early on when I got this thing was that it would crash. I wouldn't say often, but too often. I've actually lost beats on here, like maybe 5, since I've owned it. But recently, I will say, since maybe within the last 3 to 4 updates, or around 3.8. So I would say from like 3.4-ish, I haven't had a crash. Let's knock on wood. That's good. So they are updating and, they're staying on top of what needs to be taken care of. I would say the combination of the desktop with this as a controller, there is literally, for me, I don't find any limitations because, like I said, I can chop the sample in Serato sample using the pads, or I can just chop it up the regular old fashioned way with the MPC chopping. And both ways are what I would need. There's literally not a thing or a function in here that I could think of that I want that's not there. The funny thing is, I find like this makes me more productive as a producer, which is kind of weird because it will take me longer to make a beat on the MPC than it will with Ableton, but the success rate is higher on the MPC. So I made more beats that I've ever made in a year on the MPC, but the beats take longer than if I was doing it in Ableton. I don't know. This is how it works out. For the people that are asking, oh, would you recommend this? It's just like, it really just depends on your experience level. 10 times out of 10, I would choose to make a beat on the MPC before I would on the 404. And right now, I would say 8 out of 10 times, I would make a beat on the MPC even before Ableton. So if you're asking for me for advice on if this is good for you, I have no idea. That was my year review of the MPC One Plus from Akai. Dope piece of equipment. If you're new here, my name is Finn. I make beats. Peace.